Good morning and welcome to the late breakfast on Sports Tonight TV. I'm Matt Forde. The tournament's over. There's the small battle of the final tomorrow, but let's face it, no one of us are going to be watching it. I'm joined now by Eddy Brimson, Perry Groves and Nigel Seeley. Morning, fellas.
Morning.
I mean, the tournament ended for me last Sunday when England, sadly, went out against Italy. Are any of you bothered now about the rest of the tournament?
I wasn't bothered about the tournament before we went into it, to be fair. Oh. No, I wasn't. Before we went in, because I didn't think England had a chance, especially when they appointed Roy Hodgson. I knew he was going to play 4-4-2 and he played 4-4. But then after the first game where you had sending off and goals and penalty save, whatever, that sort of enticed me. And I think it's been a brilliant tournament. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. Just because England have gone out, you can't go, oh, that's it, the rest of the football world don't count.
You sort of can. I mean, but the thing is, before the England game, I think, oh, I'll watch all the football because that'll get me. That's sort of like the tomato soup before the steak.
Oh, it's more interesting.
I'll watch all the other games and I'll pretend to be interested and all these other players I'm going to learn about. And then England playing, you think, right, that's why I bought the shirt. That's why I want to.
No, you got to give it, Matt.
I bought this on the cheap.
Yeah.
I did, but I didn't get any freebies apart from a Wimbledon ticket. But apart from that, that's why I get involved. And then England start doing well, which they did for a while. The
Results
game was good. And we got out of the group.
20 minutes they had.
Yeah, we got out of the group. We got out of the group well. That was a group that a lot of people didn't think we'd get out of, and we smashed that group. So yeah, so I'm still interested in it. I found it hard watching Italy play Germany the other night, just for the fact it was them knocking us out, and that's where we should have been or could have been if we'd have turned up. But I'm looking forward to the final. I think the final will be great.
To be fair, our 0-0 draw against Italy don't look too bad now, does it really?
Oh no, we can't start saying that.
Come on and go, actually, we drew 0-0, so therefore we're better than Germany.
Well, the second that result happened, Joey Barton of all people texted that, and that, to me, is exactly why we're in the position.
No, by the way, I was joking.
Yeah, I know I
was being facetious.
We do need to
I'm not as clever as Joe
understand. No, I'm sure you are.
The England-Italy game, though, was nerve-wracking, it was emotional, it was long. In the end, England were ground down, but for a while, part of all of us, sure, I can't be the only one sat here thinking, at some point I thought, we could do this. Nigel, you must have.
Well, I did when they missed their first penalty. Yeah, I thought for 1 minute we can get through here. But I just think that with England games in past, they've always gone out in penalty shootouts when they played really, really well. I mean, when they played Portugal before, they played exceptionally well. I thought when they played in the World Cup, they played really well.
Under Glenn Hoddle and Terry Venables,
they
actually got their team.
But on this team, they didn't play well.
No.
So there was a part of me that really was thinking, well, my attitude was, if we get through to the semi-finals, I said to my little boy, listen, don't worry about it. If we get through, we're going to get beat 4-0 by Germany anyway. So don't worry.
When that first penalty went in, or they missed their first one, I thought we're going to pull this off. I couldn't believe it, especially after the performance.
But then Argentina, France 98, we went ahead in that shootout, and that was ringing in my head. When that Italian guy missed, I was just thinking Argentina.
You've been watching too much Escape to Victory.
You are Russell. We can do this. We're 5-0 down, we can turn it round. I mean, in all those games in past, England played well and deserved to probably win the game. This game here, realistically, if we're sitting here saying we got through to the semi-final or the final, we didn't deserve it, did we?
No.
Really?
No, did you not?
And that's why I could never get massively behind England on this tournament like I have done in.
When it went to penalties, do you not think it would be funny if we beat Italy? Because we were so bad in the second half and so bad after the time. Do you not think, actually, now this has got funny. If we can get through this, it's not, we're in the semi-final, you go, that's quite funny. I think that's quite funny.
Well, totally, because it is that you started to think, well, actually, our name's on this, that whole thing about...
Until he stepped up. I mean, everyone, when they saw him stand up, they just thought, what?
You know what? I don't get... No. I don't get why everybody's having a go at Ashley Young.
I knew he was going to miss.
No, do you know why? He had a shocker in the game, right?
He had a shocker of the tournament.
No, and of the tournament, and he was still brave enough to take a penalty. Andy Carroll, right? No, Andy Carroll came on, and to be fair to him, he did quite well when he came on. He flicked it on, he held the ball up. He had no one to pass to because we were so deep. John Terry was like a ball boy, wasn't he? He couldn't get close enough to him and Steven Gerrard. And Andy Carroll, as a centre forward, right, doesn't say, actually, it's my job to score goals, so I'll take responsibility and I'll take a penalty. So why? And with Ashley Cole, why? He's a left back, right? So again, in my opinion, midfield players and forwards should be the ones who have more confidence than the defenders do. And he's got castigated Ashley Young. And to be fair, after if it goes like the margins, Cesc Fabregas, when he scored the winning penalty, right, he hit the inside of the post, and there was a little bit he went, and he didn't know whether it was going to get inside the post and come out or inside the post and go in. So that's the real small margins, and that's the difference between. But I don't go with caning the two Ashleys.
I'll go 100% with that. If you've got the nous to step up and take one.
But then who do we blame?
Well, but I was.
Who do we hang effigies of? Who do I
should blame the manager?
Hate mail to?
Should blame the manager. Have a go at them. I mean, every time England attacked in this competition, that 25 minutes when they're behind against Sweden, they looked quite good. They went through teams quite easy. And when we had the 2 or 3 chances we created, when Welbeck hit it over, we went through it. We should have been more positive for the game. We shouldn't have been in a position to go hope for a penalty shootout. We should have gone to the game.
It's like they played for it. It's like they went and played for the penalty shootout. But going back to this penalty thing, I was there when Batty missed against Argentina, and everyone had a go at Batty. And the second he stepped up, all the people I was with, I was actually in the Argentinian end with about 200-300 English fans.
Something you want to tell us, mate?
Oh, mate, it was hard. It was no, they weren't a cheap ticket. Cheaping it should have been, but he wanted more, he didn't get it. But, you know, people, when Batty stepped up, everyone's going, oh, I can't believe it's Batty. But at least he had the balls to stand up and take the penalty.
Oh, yeah, I respect anyone who takes the penalty.
You know, take him out of him. You can't have it him.
Afterwards, right, they went, oh, what was your success rate at penalties? That was the coaching staff, that was the players. Right, he went, it's 9%. They went, why is that? He went, that was my first one. He'd never take the penalty, ever. So what about when you was a kid? He went, no, not even when we was kids. So you think you'll get into semi-finals and quarter-finals and of major tournaments, and they don't even know that he's never taken a penalty.
Yeah, that's shocking.
That was bad. But you expect any professional footballer to be able to take a penalty. You expect any man. Any man should be able to take a penalty.
I know I'd miss one.
And half the women these days.
If I took one, I'd definitely miss it.
But no, but you know what I mean? Most people should be able to take a penalty.
What, and score?
Yes.
You should be able to hit the target.
With the weight of the nation on your shoulders.
Just
and
chill
your
out.
legs go
Listen,
jelly.
Just calm down.
The only time you
listen to some Dire Straits and just nail it.
Vodka Red Bulls at about 3:30 in the morning.
I scored a penalty once against Forest's third keeper at a thing. No, it was some kids thing.
Well,
he might have let me score.
Dads and lads, was it?
It was that sort of thing. Yeah,
I took one on the pitch at Barnet once before a game against their reserve keeper, and he saved it. And he's so serious. It's all meant to be a bit funny, took it way too seriously. And when he saved it, he ran around like Buffon did at the end. It's like, mate, do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter, fella. It's not that important.
So do you still care, Perry? You still care about the tournament? We know that. Yeah. Eddy, you still bothered?
Yeah. I think the final will be.
But your heart, I mean, surely, like our hearts belong to England. That's the reason why we got so excited.
Yeah, it's not when England go out. When England are not in a tournament, you're like that. I'm not really bothered about it, and you sort of drift in and out of tournaments, don't you? But England, you go, oh, we're in this. You feel part of it. When they go out, there's a little bit of you just goes, do you know what? That intensity's gone there. Yeah. But I think, by and large, the games have been that good that it's been interesting. Apart from the England game against Italy, which was pretty rubbish.
Pretty dull.
It was pretty dull. But it's exciting. When you're in the pub watching it with loads of people and there's lager flowing and everyone's singing, it feels like the game's better than it is.
No, when you can't watch football properly in a pub, it becomes an inconsequence.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? You've had 5 or 6 pints, you can't study in depth and say, I'm not being funny, we're not getting quite tight enough in midfield. It's just, oh, you're rubbish. Get him off. That's all it is. And then, like, if we score, then you throw your lager up and you get the lager shower, don't you?
Absolutely right. That's the best way to watch it, isn't it? That's the best way to watch it.
The best way to watch it is being in there, mate. Were
you there for the Italy game?
Yeah.
So you went to every single England game at this tournament?
Yeah.
Which was the best?
Sweden. But not just because of the football. Well, the football was outstanding. To come back to see England come back and see the way Roy Hodgson reacted to the goals, for me was probably the biggest thing in the tournament, most important thing in the tournament. But it was because for once England fans are outnumbered and the Swedes were giving it some in the fan zone beforehand, and the support that we gave the team that day was outstanding. Did that game give you hope? Were there signs of that for the future, for 2014, for 2016? There's a realisation, I think, with the travelling England fans at last of the position we are actually in world football and European football. We're not world beaters. And I think there's an understanding with the fans that from this point on we can build. Right, we're not the expectations ain't there. They're now down here, and from there we can move forward rather than just this constant knocking back. So I think from the fans' point of view, the tournament was a success. The Italy game was disappointing because of the tactics and trying to sit back as we did. We had a 15-minute spell where we had a couple of chances. Quite good for 15 minutes. Yeah, we did. They started brilliantly, and it was like we're going to get hammered here. Then we had them 2 chances, and then Italy slowly but surely sort of cranked it up, and you know showed that they were far better tactically than we are. But the summer of football isn't over because we have the Olympics. With Team GB, we know that there's only going to be English and Welsh players in the squad. We know that David Beckham's not in it, and I think that personally that's good news. I think it was ridiculous he was included in the 35-man squad anyway. I mean, to be honest,
I'm going to put my neck out and say I don't think he's ever had a decent tournament in an England shirt. France '98, his temperament was poor. 2002 and 2006, he wasn't fit.
You could say that about a lot of England players.
Oh, you could, but I think you could say it about Beckham as well.
David Beckham, I agree with you, he wouldn't even get in the top 50 of players that should be eligible to play for Team GB.
Yeah.
And you hear all these people saying, because he shook a few hands in a 5-star hotel.
That's ridiculous.
In Singapore.
Well, pick Tony Blair
Well, put Seb Coe in the 1500 metres.
Absolutely.
Because you go, he was more pivotal to get in the Olympics
Ken
here.
Livingstone was.
Well, what Stuart Pearce, I think, I'm a bit worried about the way that team, not that I'm worried, because football shouldn't be in the Olympics anyway. It's not Olympics football.
But it is.
But Stuart Pearce is cut from the same cloth as Roy Hodgson, the way that he sets his teams up.
English cloth.
But I know he's your all-time favourite player, but as a coach and a manager, he ain't quite got it, to be fair. But he's been brave to just say footballing reasons, because he'd have been under pressure from the BOA, wouldn't he? The FA was put him in as a ceremonial position and put bums on seats. But the Team GB games will be sold out anyway. Trust me, every Team GB game, because we love football so much in this country and on this island, they'll be sold out anyway. So I don't get with it, because the standard he's playing in LA Galaxy is probably Division 1 going into
League
Championship standard. League One going into Championship standard. And he plays like a quarterback, and the game is like testimonial pace. If you watch the MLS...
No, that's no good on a football pitch.
Well, no,
you can't be picking the ball up.
It's also disrespectful to the other players in the squad, because you want to go there and win it. You can't be carrying someone in something as important as the Olympics. I agree with you totally. I don't think football should be...
I don't think you'd be carrying that, would you? I mean, he's come on and played 15 minutes, wouldn't he? The last bit game at 10.
Yeah, but then you're...
I don't think he did. I don't think he just went there and shook a few hands. He was the main reason why we got the Olympics.
Tony Blair was.
I think Beckham had a huge part as well.
Seb Coe and taking 35 kids from Stratford and putting over there and saying, and the genius was legacy. No one knows what it means. You go,
I think you're being a bit harsh. I mean, at the end of the day, really,
People aren't
going to be jumping up and down in the streets of England if we win the gold medal in this. I mean,
they will.
No, they won't.
It's something to celebrate.
We've been starved so much of football. If they win their first game, you know what the pages are like. They'll get it up and it'll keep rolling.
You'll be in the pub watching GB against.
How can you get excited about that?
How can I mean, I can't possibly get excited about it.
He's got a free Team GB shirt out there. That can come off and that can go straight.
Beckham on the back.
Beckham on the back.
I paid twice as much for this. These went on sale the day after I bought it.
But he's got Stuart Pearce pants. Did you know that?
I've got a few Stuart Pearce shirts and T-shirts.
Pearce never wore them.
I think they should have paid him.
I bet he was. Well, it's funny you mentioned.
Image.
It's funny you mentioned Commando, because today, of course, is Armed Forces Day, which is why I'm going to put the question to you, gentlemen. If you could send one footballer to war, who would it be and why?
Oh, mate.
Mine would be John Terry.
Why?
Simple reason being, he thinks he's indestructible, right? And then if you've got him at the front of your battalion, whatever, marching through, everybody else is going to think they're indestructible. Not necessarily like he's the toughest fighter there, but if you think about his history, where he allegedly has an affair with one of his teammates' missuses, that teammate doesn't go to World Cup, but he does, right? Get stripped to the captaincy, they give it back to him, right? Then he's got a court case coming up on the 9th of July, I think, racially abuses somebody's brother, which he denies in the game. Anthony Ferdinand's brother gets left out of Euro 2012, and John Terry goes. So he's like that. Point. He's actually thinking,
I'm invincible.
There's nothing. No one can break me. I am like super. I'm
is that the sort of? Is like the football equivalent of Rasputin?
Yeah, I'm indestructible. And you go, go on, John. Away you go. Everybody else might get shot. It was just like
pinging off him.
Was it Kirk Russell in Backdraft? where he just go steaming through?
Be amazing. Eddie, who was you sent to war?
I'd go for Stuart Pearce.
I'd go for second.
The reason being is that he'd jump out and take the bullet that was coming my way. So
yeah, but it'd bounce off him. He'd catch it in his teeth. When he got headbutted in Euro 92 and just got straight back up. Pearce would get shot and just keep walking into bullets.
Would you sure, but someone who was that tough though, with the shorts, like the homoerotic 1980 shorts really pulled up. That was a bit
did you say erotic?
Homoerotic.
Oh, right, erotic shorts.
Homoerotic.
Okay.
They were a little bit mincy, don't you think, like his shorts?
They were a little bit
and camp. A tight top and like short sleeves.
The new football shirts are tight, aren't they? Like these new Fulham kits and Portsmouth, these new Kappa ones there.
The aerodynamics, like the rugby players' tops.
I don't like those. They're not good on men of my figure.
They wouldn't suit you, mate.
Nigel, who'd you send to war?
I'd go back to a childhood. I want him on my team for obvious reasons. Brian Kilcline. From
Killer.
Yeah. I Brian Kilcline.
He was the first dog, the bounty hunter.
I think he's.
Yeah.
What a reference.
Top, oh man, definitely on my side, Brian Kilcline. I like to see Joe Barton go there for obvious reasons as well, but Brian Kilcline would be the one I'm on.
Do you know Brian Kilcline as well? Like his man mountain shoes when he like the big beard, the hair.
Oh yeah.
When you meet him, right, you go, Killer, how's it going? You're right. Hello, how are you? Pleased to meet you.
Was he very?
Yes. How have you been today? Yeah, very well spoken. But you think he's going to go, you're right, and he sort of puts you back a bit. You go, hello, how are you? Good day.
It's like a Bond
Is everything
film.
okay? Yes.
It's got that sort of element of surprise.
Hard but intelligent.
What about people like? What about Butcher, Ince?
What, just to get blood everywhere?
Yeah, well, yeah,
they can take a cut.
But are they great?
Great. All right, boy. He loves England, doesn't he? He loves England.
Are they great warriors? Those men or not? Butcher, come on, that's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, Butcher would. You'd stick him out there probably. Yeah.
Send Gascoigne to war?
Yeah,
he'd go over the trenches, wouldn't he?
He'll take some fishing rods and
Had some chicken.
Guys would go and have a chat with him.
he can sort it out. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, Gad would just have his ball. Fancy a game of soccer, lads. You know what?
Apart from Terry, would you send any of this lot to war? I mean, you couldn't send Ashley Young to war.
Nah.
Just stand there going.
Wouldn't he be like a peacekeeping envoy? Couldn't you send him like that?
They'd
just
all
have
be
a
good on
chat.
the PlayStation.
You could send Roy Hodgson as a.
Oh, and you could speak in their language, every language.
We could win hearts and minds and blast the pieces out of them. Right, we're going to take a quick break on that note. It's Armed Forces Day on Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight TV, joined by Eddy Brimson, Perry Groves and Nigel Seeley. Eddy, you went to every England game out there. You were out there following the fans. Mm-hmm. Before you left for the Ukraine and Poland, what were your expectations of the sort of countries you were going to find?
Well, due to the press and the way they whipped up a bit here, we was a little bit tense and we were a little bit worried about what we were going to be walking into.
A cesspit of racism and violence.
Yeah, and just sort of the infrastructure. Although to be fair, the infrastructure was appalling out there. Yeah. Ukraine wasn't ready for a tournament like this. No way. So we're a little bit guarded, but I have to say I've never seen anything so wrong in my life. The people out there were fantastic, and it was just a fantastic place to be. The people were great. The cities were good. The next was a bit sort of very old school, sort of really leaning back towards wanting to stay as Russia.
Stiff upper lip,
no, very old
people
school.
People drinking moonshine in the streets.
There was a bit of that. There was a bit of that. Yeah, there was a bit of that going on. It wasn't cheap though, not for the England fans. But yeah, it was very sort of old Eastern Bloc, and so a real experience. You're not going to get many chances to go to a tournament in a place like that anymore, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to go. So it was a fascinating place to be. And a really enjoyable experience.
Did you find? You said about the infrastructure. In the end, did you not find that quite funny and go, right, we've got this is a trip. This is like an experience where it's like National Lampoon's Vacation. We've got to get on like buses and antiquated trains and that sort of stuff.
It was good the first 2 or 3 times, but when you're doing a train overnight for the 4th or 5th time,
that's not fun anymore.
It's not fun anymore. And even the high-speed trains, they'd be leaving at 6 in the morning, so you're up. You know, games didn't finish till 12, and then you're up the next day at 4 o'clock to get a train, and that's kind of the whole journey was like that. It was quite tough.
Some of the stadiums look very impressive.
Oh, the Donbass was something else, mate.
Was that the one where the Sweden game was in?
No, that was the one in Kiev. But I have to say the Kiev stadium was my favourite, but the Donbass was something else. That is a proper football stadium.
Now, you were making videos while you were out there, following the fans' journey and your reactions during the game. I've been watching them all online, and you can see them all on Eddy's website. This is my favourite. It's Eddy at the Sweden game.
Checking all the tickets. It's a rocking atmosphere. What a stadium that is. Look at that. Here we go. Security check number 3. Jesus. I don't get those people. I don't get them at all. How can you not love a buzz like this? my voice is knackered.
Oh, what a video. Watching that, I get nostalgic. You must be welling up a bit watching that.
No, I just quite enjoyed it though, didn't I? I enjoyed the goal, didn't I?
You did enjoy the goal a lot, mate. You've got such an expressive face.
It's football, mate. It's what it does to people, isn't it? That's why 4,000 or 5,000 people travelled out there. That's what it's all about. Those golden moments when it goes in, and those golden games. You put up with all the, the team you follow, all the useless games on Tuesday nights where you travel at length of the country, and you get your reward at games like that. Sweden, fantastic game of football.
Just watching it, I mean, your face lit up there.
No, I said I actually think that shows more raw emotion and passion. That makes you tingle more than actually watching the game.
Definitely.
Because I think when you're watching the game, you're into that moment and you're just like that. But the players should be. I know they probably say, "Oh, we know how much it means to the fans, whatever." They should play DVDs to the players and go, "This is what it means to the people that follow you around." And then I've always said, as a player, when they say don't get carried away too much with your success and too down with your failures. I always think, no, ignore your failures, don't get down with them, but your successes, really you milk it for everything you've got, because they're very, very minor compared, as you said, when you're going around the disappointments, you go, well, and you go again. So that 25 minutes against Sweden, it probably makes all of the other stuff, you go, do you know what, that disappointment, I don't really bother about that. That 25 minutes is, that's what I go for.
That's such a fantastic point to make. Thanks, because that is, but it's a fantastic point and really well put, because I never had it put like that. That is why, as football fans, we go to football. 90%, 99% of what we see on the pitch is not successful.
Yeah, that's right.
The reason we keep going is because of those golden moments like that.
It's hope.
Right,
and that is really well put. And
it's the hope.
Yeah, it is the hope. And every now and again, bang.
My favourite line in that whole clip is, "Some people don't get football. I don't get those people." Yeah. that's the sort of quote that should be on a t-shirt.
They're not human.
Someone else said that.
But it's said so honestly, and so so many people would have said something similar to that. But the way in which you say it. Well, Danny Baker tweeted something very similar on the last game of the Premier League season. But people have. This has been England have gone out too early. Maybe we haven't played great football. But the way the Premier League season ended, we got further than we thought we were going to get in this tournament. If you don't like football, you're missing out on life at the moment, aren't you?
So what would the summer be like? Like next summer, like 2013, there's nothing, is there?
Don't.
No welcoming your two faces.
Don't even think
I don't want to go. No, but what I'm saying is,
You have to get a girlfriend.
when people say there's, I think there's too much Premier League football on telly, like live Premier League football. But when it's coming to England and like FA Cups and the massive games, and Euro Championships, well, I don't think you can get enough of it.
We should have a Home Nations.
The summer would be boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
the summer, I think you should have, for fans, you should have like a 2-week where you have to take your missus away and all, you have to do your holiday thing, whatever you go, all right, go away. Yeah, for that, have a 2-week period and go have football for 50 weeks in a year.
I'm with you on that.
Just extend the season, just have a load of friendlies,
do
whatever
everything.
it is.
There's tournaments. Have under 16 England tournaments and see what's coming through.
Nigel, your experience in Poland and Ukraine was marred by the cat that lived in your flat. Watching that video of Eddy there, you'll have to see those videos, it's incredible. Watching that videos that Eddy's made, is that sort of close to your experience, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, I've never. Eddy's obviously travelled for England fans before. It's the first tournament I ever went to, and one thing I took away of it is my total idea of the people following. I couldn't believe the passion, just all backgrounds of life, different football teams all coming together for that period, and the togetherness you found. The way I explained it was like, it felt to me as when I was like going back to being 20 again and going on holiday with my mates and coming back at the airport. For 3 or 4 days I was so down.
Yeah.
I come to see the missus and the kids again, but I was absolutely down. It was like leaving holiday mates, and it was it really got to me on that front. I didn't think that it would be that way, but the boys there, the people you met, some of the guys like 75 with their sons and their grandkids. 3 generations to travel following England, do it every tournament, and the money, the expense they do, and that the thing. I mean, I don't think that was the big thing.
He's going to go.
That's the big thing. I'm at the stadium, the Donbass Arena. I was just the surrounding areas of it, the park around it, everything. Just everything about it was superb.
You know what? That'd be some reunion with the boys of 2012. Like the reunion, get like 3,000 people in a massive nightclub.
The great thing is you do get an awful lot of fellas who travel on their own to England away games. You get a lot of, but once you're there, you all look out for each other. Everybody looks out for each other. I mean, it was tough with rooms and getting around, and Pete was saying it's heard no one had a room. you'd go, I've heard that geezer's got one over there. Go and speak to him, he'll point you in the right
camaraderie.
direction. And it really brings everybody
They
together.
all had tickets, everyone had the extra tickets for the Sweden game. We didn't have tickets for the Sweden game. 2 blokes said, I've got 2, don't worry about it, just give us the face value. The togetherness of everybody was like, they all met at the same bar, everyone went to the same place. That's the thing I've
the strange thing about, you've got your England top on there.
Yeah, because I'm proud.
I know, I get, do you know what? I actually get, because I'd never put an England top on before, right? Because when I was a kid and playing, I thought, I'm not going to wear an English shirt. If I'm good enough to play for England, because I play football, I'll play for better. If I'm not good enough, I ain't going to put one on, right? I was doing a radio show with Ian Wright for Absolute Radio, watching all the England games, and we got the England shirt. So he said, come on, we've all got to put, for the England games, we've all got to put our England tops on. Yeah. So the Sweden game, put it, and I'd never worn an England shirt before, ever.
Wow.
No, so
until this tournament?
Yeah, on it, yeah. Really? I'm 47. It's a gospel truth, because I just think, I support England, but I'm not going to put an England top on because I wasn't good enough to play for it, right? So I put it on at home, like travelling to the show or whatever, and it's a really weird thing. I'm not saying this to be emotional, clever. I put the England shirt on, and there's something, when you put it on, there's something you think, this is quite proud. And even though I'm not playing for England, there's something that gives you like that little bit of sort of, I don't know, belonging, or this is like a country. No, it is. When I put it on, I was, because he played for England, but he still feels the same. He still feels the same. When he puts an England shirt on now, he says, I said, do you know what, it makes you feel a little bit like bigger. It was a really weird feeling. Yeah. I know it's a bit sad, but that's just how you feel when you put an England shirt on.
It's not sad at all. It's just it's truthful. It's true emotion.
And I started crying. No, I didn't.
No.
Now the thing is, I did cry. I've cried every time England have gone out of a major tournament. I think I've cried every time Forest have been relegated.
Wow,
do you ever stop crying? Stop crying.
This is the evidence. A mate of mine, I didn't realise that photo was being taken. I was looking at him for support. He took a picture of me and tweeted it like a swine. At Dominic Frisbee, if you want to follow him, the traitor. Is it wrong to cry at football, chaps? I mean, when you look at that, what's your gut reaction in one word, Eddie?
Pillock.
Sad.
Nigel?
So you look a bit worse for weighing up with the crying. I think you've had a few too many Red Bulls in the vodka there. But I have cried in England games when I was like younger.
That's because you lost a load of money.
Yeah, not money. Financial purposes. I mean, I remember 1990 being upset with Gazza and like 99. But I just think it goes back to my main point. I think that if we played that game and we hit the bar and we were all over them with Italians and we got beat, if the boots were up, then I'd probably be very upset. But I don't think for 1 minute we deserves a tear because I think we were totally outplayed.
You're a betting man, you understand gambling. Watching England in that Italy game was like just betting against hope, really. But you just get those things where you think, maybe our luck's going to change, maybe this is going to be it, this is going to be the one attack and we're going to bury it, and then we're going to shut up shop and then we're going to be in the semi-finals.
I cried my eyes out when Goran Ivanisevic won Wimbledon, it cost me 27 grand.
I understand that. Financial loss, I understand that.
I did cry my eyes out.
I understand that sort of, you can't cry, men don't cry at football.
Have you ever cried, Perry?
Nah, birth of my 2 boys.
Okay.
That is football. The Gazza, everybody said the Gazza tears. He was crying for himself.
Yeah.
No. That's self-indulgent. If you put that analogy to like Roy Keane, no, he's self-indulgent. It's like that. I can't play. It's me. I can't. As soon as I can't play in the final.
It's grow up. So much to
well, Roy Keane had the same thing for Man United in the Champions League semi-final. He knew he couldn't play in the final, and he went and scored and got Man United back in the game.
John Terry had the same thing. He picked the trophy.
Exactly.
I don't think Roy Keane has ever cried.
No.
I don't think that man has tear ducts.
There's no emotions in that man's
body. It's impossible to make Roy Keane cry.
No, I don't get the cry. I definitely, maybe fans because they've put invested so much into it. No, but players, I don't get it. I really don't get players crying at football.
It does annoy me. When I see fans crying at football, it does annoy me. It's like,
here's you, Mr. England, out there with the fans, talking about the camaraderie, and then
but you have to take. It's part of being a football fan. You have to take it, and you have to look at the away fans celebrating all the others, and you have to take it on the chin and think to yourself,
throw the odd bottle.
My day will come.
Yeah.
One day you'll be looking at me.
Well, like the Sweden fans walking out. Sweden fans walking out.
I would usually rip you for that, but I'm going to let you off. But for me personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. It's not. I find it a little bit.
If that wasn't me, what would you say about the individual there crying in a pub in London?
Grow up. Get hold of yourself. Be a man.
My son.
So, very, yes, like a modern Rudyard Kipling. Now, we've had some tweets in on which players we would like to send to war. One guy here. Here we are. Seadog Spurs, at Seadog Spurs, says Joey Barton, then he could see who the real men and women are. He wouldn't be so mouthy then. He'd be brought down a peg or 6.
Is there any others than Joey Barton? Is there any others?
Barton needs to be kicked into shape. G.J. Lomas says David Luiz to negotiate. Okay. Rab SAFC, Joey Barton, because he acts like a big man. Give him a tough job out at war. I mean, I'm slightly concerned about the raw bloodlust that seems to have infested some people. A couple of people. Andy Hunt, 2009. Robbie Savage.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good choice.
Just so hope he doesn't come back.
I guess what some people seem to have interpreted the question is, who do you want to die?
Who wants to be assassinated?
The question is, who would be good in a war situation?
Oh right, well we'll start again if who you want to die.
Well, yeah, well we'll talk about that during a break. Join us afterwards, right here on Sports Tonight with the Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight. We're obviously reflecting, the tournament's not over yet, but we're reflecting on England's performance in it. Let's get a bit nostalgic now, fellas, and look back on some of the tournaments that inspired us as children. Eddie, what was the first England team you remember? What was the first tournament you fell in love with football?
Well, the first tournament I fell in love with was the Germany tournament in '74. Obviously, England weren't at that. That was, for me, was the big first tournament, and then Argentina, obviously, after that. I think the first England one was Spain. Okay. I think the Spanish tournament where we scored after 7 seconds and everyone was going bananas, and we beat France in the first game. That was the first one that really grabbed hold of me as an England fan.
And who was your first England hero in that side?
My first England would probably been Keegan.
Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, even though he missed the header, I think it would have been Keegan. Yeah.
Did you eat shredded wheat for breakfast?
Probably. Yeah.
Shredded wheat if you follow King.
Obviously not enough.
Free shredded wheat.
But with soya milk now because you're a vegan.
I am vegan. Yeah. Yeah, that was Andy in Ukraine. That was Andy in the Ukraine being vegan. I ate a lot of grass.
Only 8.
Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah.
Perry, what was your first England side?
My footballing hero when I was a kid was Tony Curry. Because I think if I would have been homosexual, I thought you look at some men you think they're gorgeous.
Yes.
And that's obviously in his England kit. But when he played for Leeds United, they used to have the sock tie-ups.
It looks like ball rats playing for Brazil.
Sock tie-ups, but with the numbers on them. He used to have the sock tie-ups, and he was always number 8 with the numbers on them. He used to do foot overs. He had long, flowing blonde hair, and he played in the 1970s.
Whoa.
First England game I can remember watching is. To be fair, he did like an all-inclusive buffet in his life. But he's a really, when you meet, I actually had the privilege of playing against him. I played against him. Because in the old days, the top players dropped down the leagues because obviously they needed to earn money. Of
course.
And I was playing for Colchester in the 4th Division, and he was playing for Torquay. And he only played 14 games for Torquay. And I can remember being really excited. I was only about 19, and he was one of my heroes. And when top players come down, you want to see how good they are and how good you need to be when if you're a kid to go and play at that level. And he came out, and he must have been, bearing in mind that the old 4th Division was a muck and nettles, like men just smacking into each other. There's no pretty football play there. And he must have been 14.5, 15 stone, right? It was huge. He was playing. Ooh. All he did was played in the centre circle like Jan Molby. No one could get anywhere near him. He was the best player on the pitch by a million miles. Wow. Just his touch and his awareness. And everybody else is running at 100 miles an hour around him because we're all trying to earn a living. No money, just like trying to scrap away out. And he just like was drifting around. And I can remember he got the ball in the corner at Lower Road End, so all the Coach United fans, about 8 of them, but they're all at Lower Road End. And I've got him in the corner. Me and my mate Tony Adcock had closed him down. I think, I've got him. I'm going to tackle Tony Curry. I've got him. And I've got to, if I don't take the ball, I've got to take him because I'm in front of like the Herberts at the Lower Road End. Like, so I've got to go through him. So he did a foot over to the left. My mate Tony Adcock went that way. He did a foot over to the right. I went that way. The whole stand went exactly the same way. He swiveled and run between us and run off with the ball, right? Oh, so I just went like that, and I just started playing. Have a look at that! Look at him! Look at the player he is, and I got substituted. Off you come, 7. You can come off, and I'm like that. They said, basically, you're supposed to chase after him, but I'm like that. What a bit of skill that was.
Were you slightly in awe of him?
Yeah, and I met him afterwards, and he's such a nice bloke. You know, like. Don't meet your heroes. Yeah. Like, he was like a hero and so humble. And I think he's one of them ones who didn't know how good he was. And I think that's brilliant when someone doesn't know how good they are and they're that good. And it was the England reference was he played in the 73 game against Poland when Jan Tomaszewski was the goalkeeper. And I can remember my dad let me stay up late. It was on a Wednesday night watching Sports Night and like watching that. Yeah. And then he played in, I think he only played 17 times for England, and he played in that game. And that sort of ended his sort of England career, which I think was a bit harsh really, because obviously didn't qualify for 74 like World Cup. I actually think if we'd have gone to the World Cup, he could have been a massive star, because I think international football would have suited him more than but he's such a, and he was gorgeous as well.
Nigel, what was your first tournament that you remember as an England
First
fan?
tournament I remember is the World Cup in '82 in Spain. I mean, that's Brian Robson would be like my sort of hero around that sort of area. But I mean, 1990 was sort of 1990 still the one I remember. And '86 in Mexico. I'll never forget the game when we played Argentina. With obviously the handball and that, but when we made a substitution, John Barnes come on and turned the game on its head, and that was the one I can remember that as though it was yesterday. And at that time, my heroes would have been Peter Beardsley would have been my hero, and Chrissy Waddle. I used to love Chris Waddle as a winger, but yeah, that game, I remember that game against Argentina. Everyone always goes about the handball, but when we made the substitution, Barnes come on, he absolutely ran. And Lineker scored, and then we had him on the ropes.
And then he missed the header, didn't you?
He missed the header, yeah.
Like, give the Gladson small like that. Just put your head out, son.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Italian 90 was my first, and Stuart Pearce was my first idol. But along with Gascoigne for a while, as you know, as a young kid watching Gascoigne, obviously it was majestic. But I remember the first game I can remember in that tournament was England-Cameroon. I remember my sister rooting for Cameroon because she thought they were the underdogs. And like, even as a 7-year-old boy, I was saying, "You're missing the point."
Get out. Did you like that? Get out. Do you think she was adopted? Are you adopted?
If you watch that game again
she's
now,
not from Cameroon.
No, that would have been a bit of a giveaway. Really,
fairly obvious.
If you watch that game again now, the Cameroon game, they would have been nowadays. There'd have been 8 players on the pitch having the tackles in that game. It was unbelievable how they got it through. But they were. Oman Biek was one of the centre halves, and everyone was Roger Miller.
Roger Miller and his little celebration by the corner.
He was 52, wasn't he?
Something like that.
He was 52.
Incredible. But that tournament, I mean, you had like Shilton had played for Forest, you had Des Walker and Pearce that were, Neil Webb. There was a strong
Steve Hodge in there? No?
Hodge?
No.
Didn't
It was 86. Trevor Stephen.
In 86, he got Maradona's shirt.
He's been offered. He's been offered £150,000 for that.
Yeah, I've read his.
And he still kept it. Yeah.
I've read his autobiography. Yeah. It's brilliant. And he's got like a diary. It's a mixture of autobiography and diary from the time.
Yeah.
It just a lot of it sounds very boring. It makes it sound quite tedious and lonely.
Being on tour with England?
Yeah, but being a footballer as well, he makes it sound quite.
Yeah, but you think it might be the character, because I've been away in football trips and tours. But you get into 3 groups when you're in a football team. You get the drinking squad. Yeah. You get the middle ones who sort of flip between the drinking squad and the spotters. So you get the train spotters, and that's a bit harsh on trains, with what you'd call normal people who go home, who train. Yeah, they train and go home to their families and go home to their wives.
Responsible men.
Yes, exactly. Grown-up, mature men, but you say that they're the spotters. So you get a group that sort of mixes between the two.
And proportionally, were clubs in your era predominantly drinkers, civvies?
No, again, you'd have in a drinking squad. The one I was at the Gooners was quite large, to be fair. So the proper drinking squad would be about 6 or 7. Okay. Like it would go only if you won on a Saturday, then you go right, and the fans would see the players going mad. Like when you scored a winning goal, which is great emotion, because you think we've won, we got a win bonus, and we're going out Tuesday. Because it was but if we lost on a Saturday, we wouldn't go out on the Tuesday because we didn't think it was fair that fans saw you out enjoying. No, because it isn't fair. Because if I was a fan, I'd get the ump.
So what did you do? Have a Saturday night and a Tuesday?
No, not Saturday. Saturday nights were very because most players lived in different areas, and Saturday nights was normally the family and the wife sort of night. Okay. So ours would be a Tuesday. It'd be
Tuesday. You'd have Tuesday club?
Tuesday, yeah. It was called the Tuesday club.
Tuesday afternoon. Where would you go?
Anyway, we normally trained at Highbury on the Tuesday. We normally trained at London Coney through the week. So we just go to the Alwyn Castle, which is like a local pub, or the Bank of Friendship, and then just see where it took us basically. And then fans could have a drink with you. We used to take the girls from the office out at lunchtime, say, come on girls, we're going up.
Brilliant.
But they go back at about 3:30. And be
para.
So then obviously Pete Hill, the chairman, got the man, and he's, look, we don't mind taking them out for lunch, boys, but you make sure it's not liquid lunch.
The odd thing is about drinking is when you look back on drinking days, it all sounds rather innocent. But if we're to talk about players now, taking staff out, getting them drunk at lunchtime, people say, oh, it's dreadful. But it's odd that when we look back on drinking, we say, oh, what a lovely thing to have done.
Yeah, but I've got the thing on we were drinking on a Tuesday, and it would be quite hit. We go like 1 o'clock. through to, I don't know, some would drift off and then stay till late and and go to find little drinking dens because obviously the lifestyle was different.
Best place to drink.
Well, no, because when you're not supposed to be in there as well, that just makes it more exciting.
Did they not keep any tags on you, or did they?
George Graham knew everywhere. No, he knew everywhere.
Oh, did he?
He knew, but he liked the fact that because there'd be any time on a Tuesday. We'd have the drinking club, right, the drinking squad. Yeah. Then we called them Three Amigos, which was Alan Smith, Lee Dixon and Brian Marwood would come in because they did everything together. Yeah. And then we'd have the Four Tops would come in, which would be Dave Rocastle, Paul Davis, Gus Caesar and Mickey Thomas, or the 3 Degrees, there's 3 of them. So they'd come in. And then at one stage, we'd have 18 or 19 of the first team squad all having a beer. And then people they'd be like red arrows and go and do their own stuff. But then they're all in, and I reckon, although we're playing at the top level, I wouldn't have thought it's any different to lads that play on a Saturday or play on a Sunday, because it's a male bonding thing. And if you're doing well, fans don't mind if you're out, right, and you're drunk and having a few beers with them. If you're won and you're doing well, fans don't care.
As long as you're not cracking onto the missus.
Then, well, exactly, yeah. Actually, some fans don't mind that either.
No way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, but they wouldn't.
No, but as long as...
If I was out with my girlfriend and Nigel Quasi...
Stuart Pearce.
or Darshville.
What about Stuart Pearce? What about Stuart Pearce?
I'd just be jealous that he wasn't trying it on with me, I think.
Well, there you go.
This has gone a bit weird, this programme.
Let's talk about the betting odds. Nigel, the bet butler, is here with us. Should we have a look at some of the odds for the tournament? Outright winners. Let's have a look first. Well, there we are. England were 9-1. Italy 10-1. So it's now between... Spain.
Well, these are the prices, obviously.
I'll have Italy. If that's the price, I'll take Italy at 10.
I mean, the betting on it now is obviously Spain are the big favourites. They're around about sort of 4-7, 1-2, that kind of price to win the cup. 6-4, you can get the Italians. But obviously that is to win at any stage if you're winning 90 minutes, extra time, penalties. So I think what's happened, we've had a few real big punters out. A guy had... £500,000 in Italy plus a half a goal against Spain. So he got the draw and Italy.
Half a goal?
Yeah, it's a handicap. So it's basically, it's even money Spain to win, and you can back Spain, Italy and the draw evens. So he had £500,000 and, on that, but he got it wrong on one of the other games. He backed another one wrong, but he had a big lump on England to beat Ukraine. He got that right. So the big hitters at the moment are doing. The bookies aren't having a good tournament, you know. And surprisingly, no one backed England. You know, usually when England in these tournaments,
because the expectation
heavily backed. Yeah. This time around, what you said about the fans having an expectation, that's definitely come across in the betting. Nobody's put any money on them. You know, years ago, when the last World Cup. When the World Cup, when we got knocked out with Seaman against
2002.
Yeah, England were favourites for that, to win the whole thing before that game, the whole competition, because everyone just said we're going to win this, we're going to win this, we're backed in, and we were like 5-1 third favourites in the last World Cup when we got beat by Germany. This time around, no one's.
Do you know what's unbelievable? I'm reading the paper today. We are actually short of favourites to win World Cup in 2014 than Italy.
Yeah. Well, how does that work? How does that work? Rankings, we're like 4th or 5th.
Oh yeah, but that's on friendlies. But I just on the bookies, is that?
Because we're technically.
I thought that they're trying to entice people into bet. Why put England like shorter than?
To be honest
Italy?
with you, I mean, nobody bets on like the World Cup until the World Cup starts. Who's going to go in a betting shop now and put 10 on England to win the World Cup, which is 2 years away? I mean, everyone needs the readies. You know, not going to tie the money
that's
up
a fair
now.
point.
So no one will ever do it. But what will happen at the moment? No one's going to back Portugal. So. Books are always formed on liabilities positions. Right. So your liability on that tournament, you won't have 10 quid in the hot. You know what I mean? There'll be no risk. So their prices up there at the moment. But the next World Cup, I mean, there's a few out there, big prices. Uruguay, I think.
Oh, come on, Perry. Perry, behave yourself. Of course they're going to qualify.
It will be.
Not under Roy Hodgson, we won't. Trust me. Ain't happening. He doesn't know any other way to play.
You can't say this to me, man.
Sorry to bring you down.
We've got to have something to
cry.
believe in.
I don't make him weep again.
We've got to have something to believe in.
Ain't happening.
We're going to be tough to beat. We are technically unbeaten under Roy Hodgson.
Do you not think Roy's the right fella?
No, not at all. I haven't changed my mind. I think he's a very, very good middle-tier Premier League manager. He plays survival football. If you play survival football at Fulham and West Brom and you survive in the Premier League, he's done a really good job.
Will he make the brave decisions you think he's got to do? Do you think he's...
No, it's not decisions.
No, I mean, dropping people and building for the...
It doesn't, but it doesn't make difference who he plays. He doesn't know any other way other than 4-4-2, or sometimes he plays 4-5-1. Right, but the game, you can play 4-4-2 if you squeeze people in. You've got 2 quick centre halves, and you allow your wide men to have a little bit of freedom and go and play.
We want hope, Harry. We want hope.
No, it's realism. I'm not going to go jingoism. Yeah, Roy Hodgson's the man.
So you don't want to back him at 14s, me, for the next World Cup?
Absolutely, I wouldn't back him at 140.
I mean, look at these odds here then. So Spain 7-4 on Italy at 7-5.
You're not giving that away, are you?
No. I mean, this is to win in 90 minutes, obviously. Sorry, this is not to win. This is to win the cup.
Yeah, this is outright.
Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, I personally think tomorrow. Well, there's been 3 matches where the bookies have gone very, very, very short on under 2.5 goals. I predict it's going to be a 0-0. One of them was England against Italy, which they got bang right. The other one was Portugal against Spain, which was another 0-0. And this one here, to me, just looks like an absolute bonko 0-0, 1-0.
Yeah, bonko.
Yeah. It's not going to give nothing away. Finals are tight anyway. Spain don't concede goals. Italy probably won't have enough ball to break them down. Usually, if you went a straw poll around the streets and said what's going to happen in 90 minutes in that game of football, I reckon a high proportion of people will tell you it'll be a draw and it'll go to extra time penalties. But the draw is never backed in betting. No one ever backs a draw. Yeah. So you can get a decent price on the draw. You get 9 to 4 the draw.
Is it right?
I think 9 to 4 the draw.
You know what?
It's always a brilliant result
on
for
that
punters,
draw.
Bookies. If ever's a
Italy
draw,
have got a similar record as that against Germany. Germany never. It's 8 games now. We haven't beaten them in competitive matches in tournaments. Spain haven't beaten Italy in 7. They beat them on penalties. They haven't beaten them in the 90 minutes.
No, that's right.
So there's still that little bit of stigma and like mental sort of doubt. And Italy played really well against Spain in the first game, didn't they, to be fair to them?
They did indeed. Where there's a bit more fun to be had and a bit more maybe judgment to be exerted is in player of the tournament, and a man that a lot of people have been talking about, Pirlo, for Italy at 64 on. Fair odds.
That's now.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm not being funny, Balotelli, right? If he scores or scores 2 goals, he gets it, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's also a chance he gets sent off, though, isn't it?
I don't think he will. No, I think.
Or both.
I think he's got his head straight.
Yeah, I think he's.
Or Zidane got sent off because Zidane got sent off, didn't he? And they announced he's won the player of the tournament as he got sent off.
Is this for you, 18 and 1?
This is now. Yeah. This is now.
You reckon?
I'm having Balotelli.
I mean, the thing is about this competition is obviously you've got to be with a team that win it. If you look through history, the teams that won it. So if Spain win it, the Italians aren't going to win it. I mean, if Spain win it, I think Iniesta wins it. Fabregas, I said Alonso was a good bet last week. So what he did last week was incredible, scoring 2 goals and winning the Grand Prix. That's an amazing. I quite like Buffon. I said he was 50 to 1 yesterday. I just think it's his last major competition. He's been an absolute superstar for Italy. I think the game could go to penalties. And if he saves the winning penalty or something like that, I think 50 to 1. The only trouble is they're voted by Pirlo's. Obviously, they're voted by journalists. And obviously Pirlo's the one everyone's hyped up. I don't think he's any value at 4 to 6. If someone said to me, you can back him at 4, I like Buffon.
18s and 25.
If Balotelli scores a couple of goals tomorrow, you can't ignore the fact that.
Well, if he gets one guy, he's the top goal scorer in the competition, but usually if you do look through the history in that, like just in World Cups and European Champions, it's always the winning team. It's always a midfielder as well. It's always a midfielder.
But he's also the thing with Balotelli in this tournament. He's played his heart out. He's chased every ball.
He has indeed.
He's gone into channel. He's done everything he possibly could. The stuff that would annoy Man City fans or people who watch Man City that he doesn't do for them. He's done. He's put everything in.
He's an enigmatic player. He's someone I'm sure we will talk about later on in the show. We're going to take a quick break. Join us again in a couple of minutes on The Late Breakfast. Welcome back to The Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight, joined by Nigel Seeley, Perry Groves and Eddy Brimson. Now, fellas, as football fans and as football players, sometimes we embarrass ourselves or we hear stories on the grapevine. Football's a rich tapestry of funny stories. Perry, do you have any sort of embarrassing moments in your past that you don't mind sharing with us?
I have plenty, but I'm not sure what time we're going now. It's time 11 o'clock before the watershed. The confession that I've made it before is I've been a Gooner since I was like 4 or 5. My dad's Uncle Vic played for Arsenal, and it's like in your family nutrition. Right? Yeah. So you're born just to hate Tottenham, basically. You just don't. They don't exist. When you're playing against, you hate them with a passion. When you finish playing, then your mates, their players become your friends, sort of thing. But when you're actually playing for them, there's no. And against the 2 Milan clubs when Spurs got into the Champions League, I backed Tottenham. I fancied Tottenham to beat AC Milan away, and I fancied Tottenham to beat Inter Milan at home. Right, so but it was a no-lose situation, because if they win, I get money.
Yeah.
If they get battered, happy days. So it was worth the money that I lost. But I got asked to put for children in need or sports relief. I got asked. It was a shirt of hurt thing.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that online.
And they said everybody had to, whatever team you support, you had to put your enemy's shirt on. So everybody did it. Pat Nevin, I think, I can't remember if he's at Hibs. I think he might have done Hearts, because he's Hibs and Hearts, or Everton, Spurs. Colin Murray was Liverpool, he put Everton shirt on. They said, there's your Tottenham shirt. I just went, no, it ain't happening. What's that? No. I just went, no. And they said, well, even if you put it on over, is it because you don't want it touching the skin? I said, no, I just don't want to put it on, it ain't happening. It cost me £400.
Well, we'll keep swapping stories.
That's beautiful.
In a second. We're joined now on the line by the star of 8 out of 10 Cats, stand-up for the week and his own national stand-up tour, Mr. John Richardson. John, good morning and welcome to Sports Tonight. Hello, John. Hello? OK, we'll come back to John. Well, there we are. He's a brief contribution to this morning's show. He might well be on the train, so we'll keep trying to get him up. Have we got him? No? OK, well, we'll keep trying him. John, if you're watching...
That's some tunnel, isn't it?
Give us a call.
He's in the Channel Tunnel, isn't he?
I know, my word. I don't know where he is. Eddy, do you have any stories in your past? Any confessions?
I had a similar one to that when I used to do a lot of extra work when I was younger, and I did a shoot at Arsenal, and they wanted us all to wear red, and I wouldn't put that on. So they go, well, you're getting paid to be here. That's what I go, mate, just stick me at the back. So I couldn't put a red shirt on. But I've had loads. One of the I watch a lot of non-league football. I'm a big fan of non-league football. And I go with my brother Bob a lot, and we went to see Bath once play Slough, rock and roll. And I was standing by the entrance waiting for him to come in, and all the players were warming up. And one of the players took the idea that he was going to try and whack the ball at my head. And he slammed it just as I looked round and bang. And all these people were laughing, and it was one of those moments. Didn't hurt. And then my brother walked in, and I just had this big football mark on the side of my head, and he cracked up laughing, and he's got all the tears coming down your eyes. And
I remember as a kid walking down the front of the main stand, and it was when Forest in the Premier League, sort of 94, 95. It was a full house. And I'd gone down to the front of the stand. I think I was going to get a hot chocolate or a bag of Monster Munch or something. I remember I was walking, and it felt like everyone was looking at me. And I could hear everyone going, ooh. I was like, oh my God, incoming, where's it coming from? And it was, obviously, some clearance was ended for. I could see the whole stand looking at us. I don't know what to do. And it bounced next to me and came right up in my face. And it was like, it felt like half an hour. But those things would go, it was frozen in time. Everyone laughing at me. And then some guy, I mean, this is going to turn the story. It's not that nice. I sat down in my seat and everyone was like, oh, nice one, mate. Some guy spat on me. And I said to the steward, I said, I think he just spat on me. And they didn't chuck him out. I was like, hang on, I just had a ball in the face. And I've been, like, flogged on. And no one's
flogged on. Your own fans?
No one's doing anything about it.
Those were the days, eh?
Incredible.
Yeah, football was better back then, wasn't it?
It's always nice at Forest.
One of the worst things that ever happened to me, and this still hurts me today, there used to be this guy, and if anyone knows him, you tell him to tweet me. How on hard does that sound? You tweet me, man. Yeah, I'll favourite your tweet. He used to wear like those paperboy gloves, like with gloves with like the fingers missing. Yeah. And he used to sell like hot chocolates at the front of the stand, right? And I was a kid, like I had no money, do you know what I mean? So Mum would give me like a quid to just like get some sustenance at the game on a cold March night in Nottingham. Paid him 80p for a hot chocolate, but there was obviously no like chocolate powder in the bottom of my cup. So I got back to the thing, it was just a cup of hot water. I went back to him, I said, mate, there's no chocolate in it. He said, I don't do refunds, mate. I said, just give me a cup of hot water for 80p. I said, where is the justice in this? I was like 12 years old. Where is the justice in this world?
That's where you became militant, wasn't it?
That's how I got. That's how I became a leftist.
Morally, mate.
I was just too overcome.
You're bankrupt. You're morally bankrupt.
I just didn't know. At 12, I didn't know what my rights were. I was just like,
right.
I just sat there sipping a cup of hot water for the rest of the game.
82.
I always used to. I was a cretin. I was at football games. I once made. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Like they have those big. Those big banners that they have at football games, like the huge ones that they carry over the stands. I tried to make one out of an old double bed sheet. I thought, I'll make one myself. And it was U Reds, but the U was just a pair of like tracky bottoms that I'd like stuck up like that and just stitched on. And then the Reds was just made out of like higgledy-piggledy bits of fabric. I mean, it looked dreadful. It looked like the Munsters had made it. And I took it along in this farm foods bag. And I'm thinking, this is going to be amazing. Like, it's a new bed. It was only the size of a double bed sheet. And then I properly bottled it. I got it out. I was like, this is pathetic. Like, even as a kid, I knew. I sort of tried to unfurl it, and everyone was going, "Oh, what's that? He's made his own panels." Going, "No, I haven't. It's my bed sheets."
It just turned into therapy.
It's so embarrassing.
Just let it all out, Forde.
It's very cathartic. I didn't realise you do it on live TV.
Oh dear. Well, we might be joined now by John Richardson. John, are you there?
He's still in the
Roger.
He's still in the Channel Tunnel.
Never mind, he's still in the Channel Tunnel. Maybe we get him on next series or whatever in 4 years' time. Should I be ashamed of that?
No.
No.
Well, because you didn't have any mates, so that's what you
didn't get out. You saw your senses.
You
wasn't an only child. No, you weren't. You had a sister.
No,
you wasn't only child.
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't like football,
She was
so
in
she
the
didn't
Cameroon.
count.
She didn't get.
Nigel, do you have any funny stories from the betting world?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that I remember very, very vividly. I mean, there was I worked in the spread betting business, and there's a famous player who played in the Premier League come on and wanted to sell. You were allowed to do it then. You're not allowed to do it now, but you were allowed to bet on things you couldn't have an influence on. So if you wanted to bet on a Tottenham game and you were playing for Arsenal, you could do that. Now you can't bet on anything. Yeah. And it was the whole of the Premier League that day, and he wanted to sell the goals in the Premier League at something like 25 or 26. If you add all the goals up, there has to be less than 25. Okay. And even though he was playing the game, he was allowed to do it. He was playing it because he was playing in one game. He didn't have an influence on all the other 9, but he was playing in one particular game. And he sold them for £10,000 a goal. So basically, he wanted under 25 goals. Everyone under was 20. He would win 10. He'd win 10 grand. If there's 20 goals, he wins 50 grand. Right, yeah. If there's 30 goals, he loses 50 grand. And the game he played in, the team he played for won 7-1. He scored a hat-trick. He scored a hat-trick. He done about 80 grand, and he scored a hat-trick. His first ever hat-trick.
See, like it's so honest in our football.
Yeah. And I had another one. Another Premier League football player rang me up and asked me to get an account for him. He needed to have a bet. I
know that story.
I knew
it's just got in my head. You started 1-7-1.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. I know. It's
got to be a Blackburn Rovers player.
No. And then another one. Another Premier League football player asked me to open an account. To open an account for him, get a betting account and get a credit limit on it. So I got him a betting account set up. Yeah. Had the bet account, so I said, bet on anything you want, it's weekly settlement, 10 grand credit, no problem. And he rang me up the next day and said, there's a massive problem. You told me these firms will bet on everything. I said, yeah. He said, I wanted a price. I've asked for him, in his own name, he's asked what price he is to sign for another team. And he wanted 10 grand on him to sign for another team. And they said, sorry, sir, we can't do anything on that. Thank you very much. And he was kicking off saying, look, you told me to bet on anything. And he wanted to back himself to sign for AC Milan.
Saying, I haven't got any inside information.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just take the punt. I might do, I might not.
I don't know why.
Who knows?
Why have he done that in his own name? I don't know.
He's not the most intelligent then, is he?
He was an ex-gun as well.
So wouldn't you get your mate
I'm trying to figure out who these people are. Have any of these stories been in autobiographies, or are these off the record?
I don't know. I think they've done any autobiographies. I don't think these two players would have done an autobiography. But there's so many stories in gambling.
The first story you told, that's fun. That's like he couldn't be done for that, could he? Because at the time you said it was.
Well, I know a guy.
And he scored a hat trick, so he's.
I know one of the other players told me that he went into the changing room with him, and we're all jumping for joy, saying, "Well done." Well done. Actually, he's absolutely gutted.
I've just lost 50 yards.
He said he was in tears. He's like,
would he have had a goal bonus more than that, though? Perhaps?
Sorry.
Would his goal bonus have been worth?
No, I don't think so.
There's very few players have goal bonuses these days. They might have target ones, but you can't give someone a bonus for scoring a goal. Because if you're running through. Yeah. And John Fashioned was on one at Wimbledon, right? So if he's running through 1v1 and he's got someone who's square of him who's going to put an empty net, but he's on like $4 grand a goal, he ain't going to pass, is he?
Did you ever have a goal bonus?
Yeah, I didn't get anything. They could give me $100 grand a goal. So one, everybody wants an angle, didn't they? Have a betting coup. Yeah. And it was to score in the game. Lee Dixon, I think, scored the first goal. He was 40-1, and scoring the game, I think he was probably. I don't know, about 20s, because it's about half inch short a game. And Michael Thomas had missed 2 penalties on the trot, and we knew that he was going to be the penalty taker. And we were playing Norwich at home. So we think, at Highbury, we're going to batter Norwich, and there's every chance we could get a penalty. So we all lumped on, obviously, Dicko as the first goal scorer and scorer in the game. And I think we got a penalty. We 1-0 up and he got a penalty. So we were like that, and he scuffed it, and he missed it, and it bobbled, and Bringun saved it. And when you're like that, you're thinking 20s. I think we've all had 50 quid. So obviously we get £1,000 back. And that was quite a lot of money for us, because we was only probably on 700 quid a week at the time. So we're like that. And it was like, you said slow motion, that ball hitting you in the face. Yeah. And as he scuffed it and Brimson saved it, and it come back out, and there was a massive melee of people to get the players to get the rebound. So Mercer's like flying in, but Mercer held back because he had the bet. So he's held back. So Alan Smith's like everyone, and then there's like a big melee of players, and you think, and ball goes in. So no one knows who scored.
I bet you on the spot scored it.
No. And so we're like that, and we wanted to come over time, and second goal for Arsenal in Sun, so Lee Dixon, and everybody's in the ball. And the lads are like jumping up in the paddock, think, get in there. But I think back in your own team or yourself, I don't get a problem. I don't get a problem with that.
So if you think
yourself, it's more an incentive.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think about Tottenham, how much money they lost by not being in the Champions League, what's stopping Daniel Levy ringing up and saying, I want to have 3 million on Chelsea to win the Champions League, to hedge his position while missing out on the Champions League?
But a lot of directors in the lower leagues do that.
Then part of you thinks they're making enough money as it is, without getting involved in that.
Yeah, but the difference of Champions League football to Tottenham is a huge amount. I think the people have gone mad about the betting element. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There are dodgy football matches out there, not in this country, but in other. You only see. I mean, we see in Italian. I see Italian football matches that go off 1-3 to draw, and then 0-0. Now there's an agreement there someplace, and there's dodgy tennis matches.
I can back that up. I'm not to tell the player who told me the story because I don't want to get in trouble. But he was playing in Italy, and he was playing for Torino, and they were trying to get into the top 4, and they're playing away from home against. Actually, I won't say the team because. But they're playing away from home, and the team they're playing away from home at were top of the league and flying. It hadn't been beaten. And he said all the directors and the chairman of the owners come in on a Thursday, spoke, and he could speak Italian as well, so he spoke in Italian, but he could only get bits in it and go, and they'd drawn the week before. Yeah. And as he went round, he says, draw, excellent, draw, brilliant for a draw. And he thought, actually, no, they're not talking about the game I've just played, they're talking about the game we're going to play. And he asked, obviously, other players, and they said, and everybody went, yeah, everybody agreed. Oh, my and he come round to him and he said, yeah, we're going to draw on Saturday. So it come round to him, and he went, I can't agree with that. I'm not having part of that. I'm not part of it at all. And he said on the Friday, the captain, who was like the best player, got a hamstring strain. Remember Lentini, who was the big star? And he had a car crash, but he went for about 30. One time, he was the world's most expensive player. He was playing for his side. He pulled out of injured. So the captain and the main centre forward at half time. This player had to come off because he realised what was going on, and the game ended up 0-0. He said, "I can't have a part of this."
Absolutely.
And as he come off, and that's 100%.
My word! Well, fascinating stuff. More scintillating chat after the break on the Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast here on Sports Tonight TV. You can tweet us if you want to join in at Sports Tonight TV. You can phone us as well, 0207 291 0868. Talking about a variety of things this morning, including which players we would send to war as it's National Anthem. So Partridge. Which players would you send to war? Scottish 1994 says Ronaldo for being so arrogant and selfish. And Munif says Joey Barton because he loves fighting. And
that's more Partridge.
And Burton, hoping he doesn't come back. I think he means Barton. Have any players in the Premier League with the surname Burton?
It's Terry Burton.
Well, if you're going to send people to war, at least get their name right. Don't sign up some poor chap who lives next door. That really would be. And Roy Keane. And just the mention would put fear into the God of the enemy. Fear of God into the enemy, rather. I mean, to be honest, think of modern warfare. Think of the sort of modern terrorist organisations. I'm thinking of Al Qaeda. They're not scared of Obama. They weren't scared of Bush or Blair. I don't think Roy Keane's going to petrify these. I don't think the Tora Bora region is going to quake with fear when they hear that former midfield general and now pundit Roy Keane is going to be slagging him off. Now, during the tournament, people watch the game in many different ways. I'm always a pub man, some people prefer to watch it at home. Some people this tournament have been watching it at work. Now, what do we make of this? Eddie, watching it at work, say in the office, is that a good place to be watching in England?
Oh, I haven't got a job as such because I'm a comedian, so it doesn't matter. Watching it with a load of comics would be a good laugh, but watching it in an office would be horrendous. You got to watch football with people who are passionate about football. You don't want someone walking past asking if you want a cup of coffee or your bum photocopied.
Actually, it does have its moments. Sounds all right. But surely if you're watching it, they're the people you don't want to be with really anyway.
Well, you can't be yourself, can you, in the office? You've got to be all professional. You can't be...
No, but you don't want to be... when you finish your day's work at 5 o'clock, you can't wait to get out of there, can you? So why would you, don't you want to watch football with people that you know and like and love?
You know, you've got these international tournaments when they fall... Like when we had Japan and South Korea in 2002, the games were on at weird times. So if they're on during the
10 o'clock in the morning, I think, wasn't it?
During the working day. So if the boss says, "Don't worry, guys, we're gonna," I don't know why is that camp. We're gonna have a party. I'm thinking nibbles. I'm thinking ribbons. Big screen action. Do you say, "I'm going to take the day off," or do you say, "You know what? I'm going to get into this"? The problem is I can't keep my mouth shut. So if we're doing it in office, I would.
So they get to know the real you.
Come on! I mean, you can shut up.
I never liked you anyway.
Why'd you neck in, you idiot? Why are you supporting Belgium? They're not even playing. I mean, I'm already getting stressed out at fictional stuff.
I think the thing is, one interesting thing about the work thing, when we've been doing games in betting offices, like we have big call centres, you'll have like 100 people, all lads working it. 99.9% of the time, an England victory is a bad result for the bookie. They'll all be betting in England, yeah. And what I remember when some World Cups, when we got to like latter stage quarterfinals and that, no one is allowed to cheer an England goal. So if an England goal goes in, because it's against the company decision, you know, an England goal. And I remember when England played Brazil, and that morning game, England went 1-0 up, obviously.
I went early doors.
There were 3 or 4 young lads. Really got rid of it. They got called in the office. Listen,
so
that's company the cost. If England win this game, we're going to do £1 million quid.
Could be out of a job.
Yeah, you don't you dare cheer, and you weren't allowed to cheer.
See you cheering. You'll be able to cheer at home tomorrow.
Yeah.
You cheer as much as you want.
But you think about it.
You watch a final at home.
But that was what it was. They got in serious reprimanding for it.
Really harsh.
But all the guys who work in here are average age between about 22 and 26, 27, that kind of age. So they're very passionate.
Why don't that firm just go and employ a load of Scottish people? Make it like
this.
It's
safe,
very good.
Never going to be a problem.
Andy Murray to run the desk down there.
Oh, he's amazing.
No, that was accidental. We didn't mean that.
You're asking young men to deny what makes them
their heritage.
Yeah, their heritage. The history of this great nation.
But what everyone used to do though is everyone used to book off the England days off, didn't they?
Just like you and the governor.
I mean, ideally, you have a boss that says, "Look, I'll make the hours up over the week. You know, do an extra half hour a day or whatever. Go down the pub."
Did you look at his imaginary watch?
Yeah, that was actually I was in goal.
If you're a football fan, you should get the same treatment as a single parent. Like if your kid's ill, you're allowed to go home. If you're a football fan and football's on, you're just allowed to go home in a tournament.
I think so.
Work it out.
Just let you out.
I don't smoke. Work it out. All the people who smoke and go out for 10 minutes. Work out their week stuff and say, well, that 2 hours they've all been having an affair. I'll have my football break.
And the couple that are having an affair and having their little meetings in the kitchen and in the lift. I don't speak from experience in any of these matters. I'm just imagining. The problem is, whenever I imagine a fictional workplace, I imagine everyone there is an absolute cretin. I never imagine working with sound people that are like high fives and England shirts. I imagine they're all stiff and anti-England. I've got a problem. Got a real problem with the way I see the world. I went to Wimbledon yesterday.
Well, there you go. You got a problem. Did you have
a glass of Pimm's? Did you really?
I didn't know because I had to work last night.
You know what? They're £9.50. Geez, I was Wimbledon last year, so me and my missus, it's like a little day out, so I'd love a glass of Pimm's, and the bloke knocked it out of my hand, right? So normally you'd go...
Bit of the old Groves justice.
No, I just, you can go and get me another one. So you just chuck £9.50 on. If it was a pint, you go, don't worry about it.
What did he say?
And he went, I ain't get you one of them. I went, I might have to drag you there.
What did he say?
And he went,
I'm on court number 3 in 2.
I said in the end, I didn't physically drag him, but I metaphorically dragged him.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Was he
if it was a pint, if it's £3, you go, oh, don't worry about it, mate. And it was a full Pimm's as well, and with all the strawberries and the mint in it and whatever.
It is weird.
You know how to treat a lady, didn't you?
That lasted all day. It was the thinnest straw you've ever seen in your life.
She was the one who spilled on him.
It was amazing going though to a sporting event in England where there are tens of thousands of people there, and the toilets smell nice, and people are sort of. There's a few people with stiff necks there, no doubt about it, and there's a few snooty types.
I think actually the quality of person that goes to Wimbledon, they take their own air freshener.
People are sort of, maybe that's what it is, but people are sort of, it's all like pleasant surroundings and wisteria and creeping ivy and green banisters. There's something quite civilised about it all.
So you wanted your Kazi floor swimming in urine.
But I'm usually I'm a sort of vocal sports fan. So it took me, I saw Boris Becker and I had to really stop myself from just going, Boris! I saw Boris Becker.
Those people didn't play tennis on concrete. Like me.
Well, that's right, yeah.
On car parks with no net, imaginary net,
big holes
and then arguing like if it went over the net or not. Didn't you used to play with an imaginary net? And you go,
definitely,
no,
yeah.
It was over.
It's when you start getting let. Hang on, he didn't even hit. What was amazing though is you have to be really quiet on court. Like
let on an imaginary net.
Right.
No, it was, you used to go like that. I would play another point. So you didn't get past like 15.
I would always do it in a foreign accent. Quiet, please. New balls, please. Led second service, 4 to serve. Matt Forde leads 2 sets to 1, 6 games to 2. Well, it's just from the third, so there we are. But the people who were sat next to me, you can't make any noise at Wimbledon. You have to be very quiet, which is a football fan takes some getting used to because she's like, go on, and all that sort of thing. I was sat there, this guy next to me and his missus were chatting throughout the whole thing, and everyone around us was getting annoyed. And then it was Sharapova, who's very noisy, and the girl she was playing was shrieking all the time. And he just got out his camera and went, I'm going to record this chorus of shrieks, and people around us just going, oh, this guy's the most cretinous guy. And he was going, I think what they should do, like really smug middle class guy, I think what they should do is do a different noise for every shot. I was going, oh yeah, nice one, mate. And then the guy in front of him put his hat on. He went, oh well, that's ruined my view. I said, are you going to do anything about it? And he just looked at me and went, grrr. He was mad, and he was obviously henpecked because his missus went, let's leave now. He went, well, we can't leave now. There's only 3 games left in the set. I mean, it'd be madness to leave. And she shunted something. He just went, oh, well, off we go. And then he was out of there, properly under the thumb, this guy getting...
Imagine what it'd be like. I remember watching Boris Becker and Steffi Graf played on the same day in the final on a Sunday because it'd been rained and they played the same... But you used to be able to stand up on centre court. So,
terracing?
Yeah, it was terracing.
Bring back terracing at Wimbledon.
Yeah, but people used to do the conga. And you think that's not really go. So that's obviously why I said right now it's all seater. I remember standing up. It was brilliant watching tennis standing up.
I had never known they had
tennis. Yeah, on centre court.
Drop when it nice.
Oh man, it's a special sporting event. I mean, you know when England go out of tournaments often. I mean, I remember. I was never that much.
Not often. They've always got out of tournaments.
But often. Wimbledon's like the next sporting thing going on. So I remember I was never that into Henman at the start, but in the end ended up backing him quite a lot. And whenever England went out, Henman then became your sort of like last roll of the dice to get something out of the summer.
Oh God!
Do people feel the same way about Andy Murray? Do you think?
No.
Yeah, but I didn't get that with Tiger Tim either, to be honest. Did you really get that with Tiger Tim?
That semi-final with Ivan Isavic where he was ahead until it rained.
When it rained.
Oh.
Yeah, but if someone, you want someone to play with sporting passion, right? If you've won a point, normally if you're pumping yourself up, you go like that.
Yes.
Tim, right? It was the wrong angle.
Like
His fist was like that, getting you think, that's a middle class pump. Yeah, that was a middle class, come on. I couldn't really, could you get into Tiger Tim?
I'd smash my head in the fridge door.
I'm massively into tennis. That was my sport that I traded all the time, the tennis in betting, in running and stuff. My biggest painful ever betting experience was when Ivan Isavic won that final.
Yeah.
Because he was useless. I mean, he was like 1,001 outsider. I laid him for the company for all sorts. Patrick Rafter played in the final. And I back very handsome Pat Rafter. He had the most amazing, most amazing.
I'm the only one who's free.
But yeah, I backed Rafter. I went every time I got a 200 quid or 300 quid or ever spare, I was just backing Rafter all the way through any post. 16-1. I stood to win about 35 grand if Pat Rafter won Wimbledon. And Goran Ivanisevic would have cost me about 20. So it was a 55,000, just for me personally, not for the company. And it was rained off on a Monday, and I was trading it for the company, and I had a massive position. And all the people from accounts, all about watching in office, they were all watching me. Come on, Goran, come on, Goran. I had about 25 people cheering Goran all around me. I had the pressure of this, and he lost it a little. And then one point, Rafter lobbed him. And I just turn around and give it up. Get out of me! Absolutely. That was my biggest ever PA position in a gambling match.
And Ivanisevic lost.
He
must have felt like the Nick Leeson of betting.
Do you know what?
I think when you do your money like that, you just basically for about 2 days, you don't know where you are or what you are. You don't, you just don't. You just.
I can't imagine.
You just don't know where you are.
That's brilliant about that. When you've got money on events, right, and people say, what was the sporting moment you can remember? And then people go, well, Gazza's goal against Scotland where he chipped over Colin Hendry and he smashed in Stuart Pearce's penalty, his Kafati penalty. He's like that. Well, actually, it was a Pat Rafter lob. That sporting moment.
I think the other thing. I mean, the day of. I mean, everyone, and this always sticks in my mind. There was a game on the day of the Twin Towers at September 11th. There was a day of football play that West Ham played Charlton that night. I think it was 4-3. And I've done about 15 grand on shirt numbers. And everyone says to me, "Where were you? Do you remember September 11th?" I go, "Yeah, West Ham Charlton 4-3." I've done my absolute brains. That's the one thing I remember. But I always remember that day.
So you don't remember it for one of the monumental events of
I remember doing my money on West Ham Charlton.
4-3.
Oh God, well that's how we remember things as sports fans sometimes. Sort of tournaments, relegations, and promotions. Join us for the final half hour of the show after the break on the Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight TV, as well as being joined by Nigel, Perry and Eddy, now joined by the star of 8 out of 10 Cats and host of Stand Up for the Week, John Richardson. John, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mark, is it?
It's Matt, mate.
Oh, all right. Hello. Hello. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hi, Joe.
Now, John, we've been talking about a number of things this morning, but crying at football games. Have you ever cried?
No, not over football, no. As a Leeds fan, the burned into your retinas is the image of that fat kid crying when we got relegated. And that puts paid to that. It's not worth the risk, mate.
But what about the England game at the weekend, against Italy? I mean, I watched it with you. You were getting quite emotional. Were you not tempted to cry at any point?
It's the first time I've had cause to hope for a long time. It's the first time I've seen us go ahead on penalties and thought, oh my God, we're going to do this. And then quick glance across the pub, sight of your blubbering face, and I thought, you know what? I've still got some shred of self-respect. We're going to hold this together for the sake of mankind. You're in a state, mate.
John, isn't that, if you see a grown man cry at football, isn't that just worth a free slap round the face?
Oh, you just cry more, though. You just feel guilty. It'd be like slapping a puppy for weeing on the carpet. You can't blame him. He just can't control his emotions or any fluids that come out of his body. You just learn to live with it after a while.
You should have thrown your pint over him, John, and it saved his embarrassment.
Well, he's not worth wasting beer. He just opened his mouth and you feel like it's a free pint to the man.
Now, we're talking about betting, John. Now, when you go to games, I know you like the occasional accumulator and stuff like that. What's the biggest bet you've ever put on a football game?
I'd say about £3.
What's the biggest win you've had?
The joy of betting for me is the risk that you might win big. So put on £100 to win £50 is pointless to me. I'd rather put on £1 and think that I might win £2,000.
Is there anything that's let you down? If you do the accumulator, you can remember one team. If you have like a 6 or 7 or 8 team accumulator, and you think if that one comes in, then I'm going to win fortunes.
I've got the name Bristol City is coming into my mind. I seem to remember when I was about 16, waiting on Bristol City for a 3-draw accumulator, and they went down at the end.
So it's always embedded. You always remember
those weird little fixtures. Yeah. John, thinking about England now and looking to the future, I mean, you got into this tournament. Is there hope now for England? I mean, Perry thinks we won't qualify for the World Cup.
I think it's definitely better than it's been for a long time. But you see, this is where me and you disagree, because you went into this tournament looking for hope for the future. But I think with every tournament, you just got to play as it is. Because if you take each tournament building to the next one, you're kind of missing the point. You've got to go into the Euros, and even though we've not gone in with the best team, kind of think we're going to win. And when you start winning and playing badly, and you win the group, which people didn't think we would, you've got to think, it's all about this tournament now. And I don't really come out of it thinking, there's a lot of building for the future. Because if people get injured and anything could happen in the next 2 or 4 years, I just think, we had a chance there and we kind of blew it a bit.
Do you know what? I think Roy Hodgson's done unbelievably. Do anybody watch True Blood, where you get glammed, where the vampires just look at you and they glam everyone? Roy Hodgson's done that because he's gone, actually, I haven't had enough time to work with the team and expectation a little bit low. I think the whole country's morphed into, do you know what? we actually think very good. So he's been brilliant.
His
PR's been great, because then everything's a bonus. I think he's been brilliant.
There were moments of brilliance. I mean,
John, there was about 40
the Sweden
minutes.
game,
Perry. So that's 25, and then 20 against Italy.
The Welbeck goal against
Italy. Oh, genius. Goal. That's genius.
John, whereabouts did you watch the Sweden game?
I was in traffic on the M6 listening on 5 Live, which was an absolute delight. I mean, you can imagine something like the Welbeck goal really comes across great on radio. Hearing someone describe that, and let's not forget, the cross was dreadful. Let's really draw the negatives out of it. Finish, but a dreadful cross.
Now, we've been talking about Wimbledon a bit. You've been there for 5 Live over the last couple of days. It's the first time you've been. There is a special atmosphere there, isn't there? Yeah,
amazing. A very English thing. I'm not usually a racist, but you can't help but get a bit into it when you go there.
Well, that has taken a real turn.
So you're trying to say it's a bit Aryan?
Well, I don't understand what you're saying, mate. You're going to have to clarify.
I can't imagine.
Come on, you were banging on about it yesterday. You got back from there yesterday. You were sending back, and we shouldn't even let him into the tournament.
He's having a mate.
Don't back out now, mate. Just because you're on telly.
Whoa! Just mate, come on, man. What are you doing? You've totally sabotaged me.
Do you mean I can't believe they've
met Richard Krajicek, and I could tell they both had an immense amount of respect for what I do, from the way they looked down at me from 7 feet tall and said, "Who's this?"
Do you know, I can't believe they've let 2 Northerns into Wimbledon. How has that happened? Did you put on a Southern BBC accent, John, to get in?
I might have played the game, but I generally just sort of shrunk back against the wall and didn't say anything. I'm still convinced I'm going to get thrown out, even though I've got a press pass. I think at some point someone's going to turn around and say, "Who's this?" and then I'll be gone. I could pass myself off as a ball boy, though. I'm only little. Just get one of their green T-shirts on and run about and catch some balls.
Well, mate, enjoy the rest of the tournament. It's been a pleasure talking to you this morning, John. It's been too long.
It's a pleasure. I love the show.
You take care, mate.
I'm on tour at the moment.
You are. See you soon, mate. Bye. John Richardson there, who you can hear on 5 Live, covering Wimbledon. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll be back in a few minutes on The Late Breakfast with Sports Tonight. Breakfast. It's the final part of the show here this morning. The final show of the tournament as well. It's been an emotional roller coaster. It's time now, fellas, to play a game called the Rumour Mill, where we take 2 stories from the world of sport. They could be true or false, and you have to decide on both. Okay, but there are 2 stories.
You love this little thing. Your little green little it comes. To be fair, the tournament ain't the same when this show's when this show's finished, is it?
Oh no, this has been Euro 2012 for so many people.
Just.
Right, here we go. So this is story number 1. So just mull over whether you think this is true or false or not. Damned by drugs. Sensational revelations about drugs and prostitutes wrecked Christoph Daum's chance of a potentially illustrious career as Germany's international coach in the year 2000. The Bayer Leverkusen manager failed a drugs test months before taking the national job. Then the media uncovered stories of him hiring prostitutes. He protested his innocence and provided a hair sample for retesting. When it also proved positive, he fled to the US, where he later admitted using cocaine. He rebuilt his career with a second spell at Turkish club Besiktas. So mull that over. There's the guy. Does he look
it was
like
the hair sample that for a minute, was it? Yeah, it was the hair sample. Was it?
Yeah.
That was. I didn't know what I meant. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it could have been a German guy.
I reckon that's true.
No.
So we think that's true or not?
Well,
no, you got to wait.
What do you think? Yeah.
I reckon that's true.
Okay, you think that could be true? Okay, right, here we are. Trevor Steven. Trevor Steven wasn't just the linchpin of Graham Taylor's England side circa 1993. He was leading a double life, away from failure on the pitch, as the lead singer of grindcore legends Grease Monkey. The band, whose hits included Sweetness and Light, Honey for My Baby, and Up Yours, briefly toured the West Midlands in '95. Stephen ingratiated himself with the powers that be in the grindcore and death metal underworld, earning the trust of some of Britain's most feared metalheads. That trust would be abused, and abused badly. Stephen was dragged kicking and screaming into a harebrained plot to import bushmeat into Britain. If he didn't get involved, the death metal community would turn their back on him and gob at him at gigs. Stevens was to be the decoy distracting the border force at Dover by faking mental illness, allowing his fellow stooges to pass undetected into Britain. But Stevens was a poor actor and was tasered immediately, and his whole party cuffed. So, fellas, What do you think? Does that look like the face of a...
I thought that was true until the tasers, because we didn't have tasers then.
What was the name of his... what was his name of his death metal band? What was it?
Grease Monkey.
So the thing is, everything is true, but he was actually a Rick Astley impersonator. He wasn't doing death metal. He was in the music business. Everything else is true, but he was actually...
Was he?
Rick Astley impersonator. Was he? Yeah.
Was he really?
No.
You oh, was he? You've got such... I just believe you've got an authority about you.
What, because he's got a Rick Astley haircut?
Well, damn it. Right, well, let's just for the record, which one do you think was true and which one was false, Eddie?
The first one's true.
Perry?
Absolutely, first one's true.
Absolutely, the first one true.
Well, you're
close though.
right,
it was a close thing. If you'd said he was obviously a Rick Astley impersonator, then everything else you said there was right.
Is he mates with Dave Pleat?
Let's not go into that. Well, people have all sorts of friendships in football. Now, the final tomorrow, even though I'm not really that bothered about it, but nevertheless. Who do we want?
So you won't watch it?
Are you really not bothered about the final?
I'll watch it because it'll probably be a good game of football. I think I want Italy.
Well, you watch it as you're going in and out of the kitchen from the microwave, just to do a snack, and then just glance over and then go, I'll go and pop back in the garden and then come back in.
The problem I've got is our TV's broken at the moment as well, so we'll have to go out to watch it.
We can go down. That'd be a tough one.
I'm going to go to Little Italy to watch it because I want to soak up.
Oh,
mate, come with me to Little Italy. We'll have a blinding night and we'll get a bit of atmosphere.
Know what it is? You're hoping that they're Italy going to win, so you get free pizzas and
no
the probably comes out.
You clever little.
I do hope Italy. I do want Italy to win it.
Why?
I just do. I think because everyone was so into Spain before the tournament. It's been nice to see someone who people didn't expect to win it.
Do you think people are bored with the way Spain are playing football?
That annoys me when people say that. I'd love to watch England that boring.
No, exactly.
They're a fantastic team.
Do you know what that reminds me of? When
so annoying.
Pete Sampras kept winning Wimbledon all the time.
Yeah.
They go, he's boring. You go, no, he's brilliant. There's a difference between boring and being brilliant. So if you raise the bar, it's up to... And what's happened now is they're that good that people actually go just to stop them, even international football, just to stop them from playing. So that's how good they are.
They are. I mean, they're very. I'll take nothing away.
All
from
they're missing is just missing David Villa. I know it's something to say. They're missing the cutting edge. That's what they're missing.
We're joined now by Rishi, who's an Italian fan. Good morning, Rishi.
Morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How do you rate your chances against Spain tomorrow?
If you go by what happened in the first group game in Group C, I think the Italy chances are very good, to be honest with you. I mean, they took the game to Spain. Spain did their usual tiki-taka, completed a number of passes in the usual way that they do. But Italy showed that that Spain are there for the beating. They took the game to them, ended up in a really sort of good draw. I can't see any reason why Italy shouldn't do the business tomorrow.
Sorry, Richard, I think Prandelli's been the coach of the tournament, considering the state that Italy are in. They're in a worse state than us when you come into the tournament. But tomorrow, do you think, number one, he'll go back to the three at the back, because that's what he played in the first game with De Rossi there, and who will play at right back? Because I think Abate will be fit. Maggio's free from suspension, and he played Balzarati, didn't he, who's a left back at right back. So he's got quite a lot of decisions to make in his team formation.
He has. I mean, the 3-5-2, and I think I may have mentioned this before, that 3-5-2 was born out of the pre-season, the pre-tournament games. Nothing was working. They lost 3-0 to Russia. They had to do something, counter Spain's midfield. Now, Spain obviously surprised all by playing the false number 9, as we all know, and a 4-3-3 system. I really don't know what's going on in Prandelli's mind, how he's going to approach this game. Logic says 3-5-2 worked in the first group game. He'll probably deploy the same. It really does depend on how Spain, Vicente Del Bosque, deploys his side as well. If he plays a 3-5-2, it's more than likely that Maggio will probably come in and start on the right. Balzaretti has grown actually throughout the tournament, so it'd be wrong to deny him a place in the final as well after his great performance.
Really, well, all the best for tomorrow. For your sake, I hope you win. In fact, I do want Italy to win. So enjoy the game, sunshine.
Sunshine.
I went on boss like this, sunshine.
To be fair, he looked about 24, 25. Didn't look about 5. Right, sunshine.
I don't know why I sort of went fatherly towards the boy. Mario Balotelli is essential to this game, isn't he? In terms of a neutral's enjoyment to it. He could get himself sent off though, couldn't he, Eddie?
Yeah, but he could also score another couple of goals like the other night. I when he hit that second goal last night, I was sitting at home on my own. I got out of the seat. I couldn't believe what I'd seen. I mean, that is some finish. If he can do that again tomorrow, you can't argue with that. And he's got the potential to do it. That's why I think Italy might pull it off.
Do you think he'll keep his head, Perry?
Yeah, I just think what happened at the end of the season with Man City when he got sent off against Arsenal, and like it was the dad's disappointment. You know, like with Mancini. You know, if your dad's angry with you and has a go at you, then you get angry yourself. If your dad says, "Do you know what? I'm so disappointed in you. You let someone down." I think that was the light bulb moment. And then he came back. His attitude was better at Man City at the end of the season. Prandelli is like a father figure. You know, he's like a wild horse that you're trying to tame, and he's sort of got the players have sort of taken responsibility. When Bonucci put his hand over his mouth, didn't he, to stop him like mouthing off at the bench?
Right,
I think I think the players realise how important he is to them, because against John Terry and Joe Lescott, he ragdolled them. He ragdolled Hummels and Badstuber. And you're not talking about against like lesser teams. You're talking about like a top side. Yeah. And he's the one who keeps them occupied. And he's been the best forward in the competition. He won't get sent. I think he's just.
He's got his mum there as well.
Yeah,
he loves his mum. He's adopted mum
as well. And his dad's, I think he said that was for my mum when he used 2 goals, and I think this is for his father, his adopted parents sort of thing. But I said all through last season, if I had to pay £1 to keep Balotelli in our football, I'd pay £1 every week, because I think he's the sort of player that we need in the Premier League, because he is a brilliant player and he's got that little bit of flawed character, but he's not got a black heart. I think he's got a good heart. I don't think we had tweets about Joe Barton. I don't think he's Joe Barton nasty. I think he's just needs a little bit of guidance. I think
needs a bit of, maybe he's more in the sort of Gascoigne end, you know, prone to these violent outbursts, but
hopefully without a drink.
Good and an enjoyable place to watch. Nigel, who do you want to win tomorrow?
I personally want Italy to win. I like to see Italy.
That means you've lumped on Italy.
No, I haven't had the belt.
It's not sport. Who have you lumped on?
I will definitely be back in the game to be a draw in 90 minutes. Yeah. So I want Italy to win, and I want them to win.
So you just go draw, or you go under 2.5?
I'm going to go straight for a draw. I think finals in major competitions are always never deliver, and I think this one will be very similar. I think it'll be very, very nervy game. I think it'll be 0-0 again. I said 0-0 in the England-Italy game.
You did, you're absolutely
I think it'll be 0-0 again, and I think that'll go all the way to penalties. And I want Italy to hedge it, because I'll always, as an England fan, I like to turn around and say we got beat by the eventual winners as well.
Of course,
right?
So
well, I mean, because if they beat Spain, right, and we draw, that means we're the second best team.
Don't do that, please. We've just learned something. Don't do that mentality.
Who do you want to win, Perry?
There's a little bit of Spain to win, because I actually think they're the greatest. Probably I wasn't old enough. The Brazil team in 1970, and then the AC Milan brilliant side, Hullet and Van Basten and Rijkaard. But I think Spain have played the best football that I've seen, and they create history by winning 3 major tournaments on the trot. So and I've got a place in Spain, so it makes the country a lot happier. When I go on holiday, it makes the country a lot happier. But no, there's a bit of me that the way that I think they've made everybody else think about how you should play football. And I think the Germans have actually changed the way they play. Like Italy are even playing, they're not doing the catenaccio, whatever it's called.
It's a shame Germany didn't get through, isn't it? Because I've got a real soft spot for them.
No, it's not.
You still feel that pain, Eddy Brimson?
I don't want to see Germany win anything.
Why?
No, I just don't. This is something that's ingrained in me. I don't want to see it. They've got.
Do you think you'll ever get over that?
No, it's just something. It's like I don't want to see the team up the road beating Watford. It's just one of them things that's ingrained in me. But you've got to watch the game tomorrow. You've got to watch it, because someone might do what Balotelli did the other night and score a goal like that, and that's why you've got to watch that game tomorrow.
There's enough players on the pitch. There's enough people on the pitch who've got the ability to do it. Do you know what I mean? There's so many top players on there.
I thought
I had written that top players.
But if England aren't there, I just feel like deflated. I just think that should have been us. It's like watching someone get off.
We weren't good enough.
This is what you have to accept: is that we're in our place, and we can build from that. That's what you have to take from this tournament. I honestly believe
we've got Jack Wilshere coming back. The nation's going to pin the hopes of one player again, like we always do.
Rooney,
20-year-old kid. Come on, Jack, you can pull us up by our bootstrings. Don't worry about everybody else. We need another 5 of you.
We can do it. I mean, we're looking back on the tournament now. We've only got a couple of minutes of the show left. What are your abiding memories, your highlights of the tournament, Eddy Brimson?
Beating Sweden. Being in that stadium, beating Sweden when that, especially when the equaliser went in, and then that was the big moment. But the third goal, and looking up and seeing Roy Hodgson give as much as the fans, he was giving it some of that. That's what having an English manager means.
It means more, definitely, when it's your country.
That's
you
why
can't feel the pain.
Yeah, I stopped going with Sven. The last game I went to before this tournament, I went out to Portugal, went to the first game against Switzerland, and it just wasn't the same. So I haven't been following England since until they got an English manager.
Perry, your highlight of the tournament?
I must admit, probably about the Poland-Greece game, the first game, right? Yeah. When everybody goes, everybody goes. Normally it's like 0-0, 1-0. It's a big, like great size board. And I watched that game, and I thought it was a brilliant game. Yeah. I just said, like, with Szczesny getting sent off, Salpanidis come in and scoring an equaliser, Greece going down to 10 men, both teams trying to win the game, and you actually think, do you know what? This isn't the weakest. No, but this is the weakest group. Group A is the weakest group, and it was a real top game of football. And you think, that's got me now, because I wasn't bothered about Euro 2012, honestly, because England wooed me. They wooed me again. You always get expectation, and it's like your girlfriend who says to you, like, you get caught having an affair, and she goes, "I'll never do it again." And you go, "All right, I'll take you back," and then she ends up sleeping with your best mate, and you go, "Oh, I can't believe I've fallen for," like, and they wooed me and let me down. Yeah, exactly. They wooed me, but I think it's been a brilliant tournament, and as Ed said there about all the scaremongering about how bad it was being Ukraine and how, like, Poland, and these two have come back and gone, no, it was brilliant.
Absolutely right. Nigel, quickly,
I think obviously going out there for the first game was absolutely amazing, but I think Ronaldo putting himself ahead of the team, not taking the penalty, I think that for me would be the image of him standing there shaking his head, thinking what could have been. I think Ronaldo has been a great on this tournament, but I think that one, I'll always remember that.
Fellas, it's been an absolute pleasure. Looking back on the tournament with you today and sharing the whole tournament with you at home. It's been a great tournament. Enjoy the final tomorrow. Adios, señoritas.